All right, the next question is from Claire, and her question is how to discuss the law of attraction with my daughter who is 15 and has autism and learning disabilities. She is very mature and is already loving the vision board. Claire, in my experience, and I have 2 children, and I was on the law of attraction journey when my daughter was around that age, a young teenager. I'm going to say to you that these kids, they don't learn from just our telling them. They don't learn from you explaining it. They learn more from you showing them your experience. You see, I don't know if you remember being a teenager. I sure do, because I'm so young. I remember being a teenager. And if my parents tried to tell me what to do, I pushed back. I didn't want to do it. I learned more from observing my parents and their behavior and deciding whether or not I wanted to emulate them or learn from them. I'll give you an example. If a parent says, I'm telling you, you should do it this way. The child may not say this to you, but the child is saying, oh yeah, lots of good that did you. Because the child is looking at your life and what you're telling them to do, and they're saying, you don't know how to do this. So why are you teaching me? And this is where all teenage rebellion comes from. Teenage rebellion comes from the fact that the teenager at that stage in their life is conscious enough and is evaluating what they should pick up and should not pick up. And when their parents say, do this because I tell you to, they push back because they look at your life and they say, well, why should I do what you're telling me to do? Your life is all messed up. They'd probably use the F word, but I tend not to use the F word. So, you see, the way you teach your children is by using law of attraction to improve your own life. And I can tell you, both my children, if I spoke about law of attraction, they would roll their eyes and turn away. They did not want to have anything to do with it. They thought it was all woo-woo and mom's gone crazy. They did not want to accept any of it. So I left them alone. And I focused on using law of attraction to improve my life in millions of ways. Literally millions of ways. But the thing that had the biggest impact on them was that I changed as a person. I changed my way of interacting with my children. I changed my way of interacting with other people. I changed my money situation. I changed my relationships, not just with my kids, but with everyone. And that is what had an impact on my kids. So Claire, I'm going to say to you, your children are observing you. They literally put you under a microscope. They are observing you, even when you think that they are not. And they are deciding whether or not what you're doing works for them. But they are making that decision. They are evaluating your behavior, what you say, and what happens in your life to decide whether or not they want to use any of the stuff that you're telling them to use. And if you can show them the power of law of attraction by you living your life in accordance to it, and then telling them what you're manifesting. Oh, so here's how you talk to your child. You know what? The most wonderful thing happened today. I was thinking that I really would love to have a coffee. And then I was just sitting at my desk and a coworker came by and they said, you know what? The lady at the coffee shop gave me 2. Would you like a coffee? And I was so thrilled because I manifested it. I was thinking about coffee and then the universe brought me coffee or a parking spot or whatever it is that you're manifesting. Like Claire, you posted on Facebook the other day that I saw that picture of a flower and you said, Richard put it there for you. And you know, those, you have manifested that. You've manifested that relationship. So the way your children will learn about law of attraction is when you talk about how you manifested it. Not so that they should do it, but just to show your joy. Just show them your joy of how law of attraction is working in your life. Don't make it about them if you want them to learn. Because children don't want that. They don't want to be told what to do. They want to decide what they should do. And they make that decision by observing you, how you are behaving, what you are thinking, and what you are getting. And because they can't get into your head and observe your thoughts, you have to share your thoughts with them. Because unless you share your thoughts, they're not going to understand what was going on in here. And how we teach law of attraction is by sharing with people what was going on in here and then what happened outside. I thought about it. This is what I thought. This is how I felt. And this is what manifested. Both good and bad. So you show children how something good happened, like the coffee, like the flower. But then you also share with them the things that were not good that happened. Right? You tell them, you know what? I was just in such a bad mood and then I stubbed my toe. That's law of attraction. If I hadn't been so upset, that would not have happened. So this is how you teach your children about law of attraction. You never have to share any words with them. And you know, it doesn't just apply to children, it applies to everyone around us. We don't have to tell them with our words, we have to show them. Because people are like monkeys. Monkey see, monkey do. Okay? You can keep telling the monkey and you would just be wasting your breath. You got to show them. And you show them from doing it yourself. So your children are going to say, if law of attraction is so important, why aren't you using it? What have you done to use it? And how has your life changed with it? Show me that. And then I'll be willing to learn from you. And then I'll follow you. Okay?